That's crazy. All right, we're good to get started. Welcome back to the RHMA community. Today's training is going to be going over how to properly trail your stop loss. Okay, so how to maximize your gains within the foreign exchange market. I'm gonna stay on my screen. Let's get right to it. So you should be able to see my screen now. Okay, so in this training, you're not going to be, it's not a training on how to get into the trade and how to do any of that. Okay, this is for when you're in the trade and you're in profit and you want to know what to do from there. Okay, so let me just set up my window. Perfect. Okay, so there's not going to be a training how to get into a trade, just how to trail your stop loss properly. Okay, so let's pick. All right, perfect. We can start from down here. Down here's good. Okay. So first things first is to get into the trade, right? So you get into a trade and you're in profit. Hold on. So we wouldn't have gotten in down there or over here. What time is it? 5:01. London. Okay, so perfect. Personally, I would have got into the trade right around here. Hold on, I'm gonna mark a little rectangle box around where I would have got in at the retest of the previous higher low. Okay, so now, right, you're in the trade and you're in profit and you want to know, what to do from there. Okay, aside from moving your stop loss to entry, because yes, that makes the trade risk free, but if it hits your stop loss at entry, you're not making nothing. Yes, you're not losing nothing, so it's there's no risk, there's no hassle there. But we want to pull at least a few dollars off the table. We want to pull something off the table. I've never seen anyone go broke from taking profit, right? So neither are you. Okay, so we always want to at least take something away from the market. Okay, so I'm gonna speed this up a tiny bit. Let's get to it. Right. So you enter the trade down here, right? Now you're in profit and you don't necessarily know what exactly to do, right? So now you have your stop loss set to break even, right? Your stop loss is set to break even, but the trade has taken off. Okay. So on an uptrend, so when you're buying, because you should only be buying on the uptrend, type it in. On an uptrend, okay, on an uptrend, trail your stop loss at the new higher lows. Okay, so if you're familiar with how a trend works, higher highs and higher lows, you'll know what the HL means. You know what higher low is. Okay, if you don't, there are pre-recorded trainings on our YouTube channel that you can go back to make sure you get that education. Okay, so on an uptrend, you trail your stop loss at the newly formed higher low. Okay. So let's continue, right? Until a higher low is formed. Okay, so trade made a new higher high, right? Trade made a new higher high up here. So now we're waiting for a higher low to form so then we can then move our stop loss. Okay, so right now we're just chilling. We're waiting for this to come back down and retest to continue. So I'm waiting for it to retest here. Speed this up a little bit. I don't want to waste anybody's time. All right, so boom, we get the retest. Perfect. Okay, so you don't want to move it just because we were waiting for a retest of this area. That doesn't mean you want to move it right away. As soon as the higher low is forming, you want to move it after the trade is already taken off. Okay, so I would wait personally until the previous high point is broken. Now we're Gucci. Okay, trades taken off. Right now, instead of having our stop loss at break even or wherever you originally set it, you can then move your stop loss. So I'm going to use a red line to indicate where the stop loss is being moved to. Okay, so we have our higher high up top. Right, we have our higher high up top. This is our higher low. Okay, our higher low is right here. After you see the trade is already starting to take off, perfect. Now you can move your stop loss. Now you can start trailing your stop loss. Okay, higher lows form. You place your stop loss slightly below the higher low. So I'm gonna make it red, indicating stop loss. Okay, so slightly below the higher low. As you see, I have it slightly below the wicks. Okay, that's how you want them, slightly below the high low. Okay, because the trade, just because it took off, that doesn't mean it can't come back, right, and retest this higher low again. Okay, there's no telling that it can't do that, right? There's no telling it can do whatever it wants. Okay, so you want to move it after it's taken off, and you want to place it slightly below the higher low. Okay, so I'm gonna write that down so you guys can have that in your notes. Okay, it's placed slightly below the higher low. Oops. Make sure you guys take a screenshot or pause the video and write that down. Okay, so now we're waiting for a new higher low to form so then we can then move our stop loss up more. So from where we got in, right, we know we entered down here with this rectangle boxes. Ooh, let me just pause this real quick so I can go over this. Right, so we know that we entered. Let me just delete this. We know we entered down here. I'm gonna put an entry so no one gets confused. Entry. That's not how you spell entry. Okay, entry. There we go, valid. Right, we know we entered down here. Okay, we seen that price made a new higher low. Okay, so this was the most previous higher low. This red line is our stop loss. Okay, and boom, now we have secured. Right, we entered down here. We've secured 50 pips. So no matter what happens to this trade, whether it goes up, down, sideways, no matter the case, if it hits our stop loss, we've secured 56 pips. Okay, that's 56 pips in our pockets, right in our accounts. We're chilling. We're good with 50. We're good with 56 pips. It's not the most, but it's something, right? So now that you've secured 56 pips, you can just let this keep running, right? You secured some money. Now you can just let the trade play out and see where it goes from here, potentially making you more money. Okay. So again, we're waiting for a new higher high to be formed, right? So that we can wait for the retracement and the new creation of the higher low so that we can move our stop loss. Okay, as you see, a higher high has been formed. Okay, now it's coming down to retest. Okay, retested right now. So now we're going to wait for it to take off a little bit so we can move our stop loss to the higher low. All right, boom. Right, you see trade starting to take off. This is the new higher high. Right, we got a new higher high formed up here. Okay, right, you got your new higher high formed up here. Right, if you know market structure, you know that right underneath right here is the higher low. Okay, so that's where we're placing our stop loss now, slightly below the newly formed higher low. Okay. And now, so now from our entry, we have secured 211 pips. Are you really mad if you gain 211 pips? No, that's still money in your pocket. Your account is still growing, especially depending on what lot size you chose to play with. Your account is still growing. Yeah, that's the name of the game. At the end of the day, you want your account to grow. What's up, bro?
Yo.
Okay, so at the end of the day, you've secured 211 pips, right? No, I don't think anybody's gonna be mad over 211 pips, right? So as the trade continues, okay, as new higher highs is formed, perfect. A new higher low is formed. Now we're moving our stop loss again. Okay. Okay, the new higher low is up here. Now we're moving our stop loss. So I'm gonna delete the previous stop loss so that no one gets confused of where the stop loss is being placed. Okay, so new higher low form, move your stop loss slightly below. So now from our entry, we entered all the way down here, right? Now we've secured 259 pips. Okay, pretty much 260. Okay, so if this trade was to go left, anything was to happen, that it came back down, reversed, started a new downtrend, whatever the case, you secured 260 pips. Okay, so let's see how far this goes. Let's continue. And at any point, you should not remove your stop loss for any reason. If your stop loss is already in profit, you're already good, you already secured the bag, there should be no reason why you lose that bag because you decided to remove your stop loss because it was coming down. Okay, if it's coming down, if it's coming all the way down past the higher low, it's coming down for a reason. It's coming to reverse. Okay, as you see, this is exactly why we put it slightly below the higher low. Okay, if we had it at the higher low, right, we would have got stopped out right here as the trade continues. That's exactly why we place it slightly below the higher low. It doesn't have to be OD, but just leave a little gap. Put your finger on the screen and put it right under your finger, if that helps. Okay. So now we're waiting for a new higher high to form so then we can then move our stop loss. Okay, so boom, higher high formed right here, slightly higher, but it's higher. Now we're moving our stop loss from this higher low to this higher low. Okay, again, slightly below it, and we're gonna let this run. Okay, high formed. Boom. Now, now we're moving our stop loss again. Now our stop loss is at this higher low. Okay, slightly below this higher low. Now, let's see how many pips we secured. Okay, this trade been going on for a while. Okay, now we've secured 400 pips. Okay, so now you know if anything was to go south, that you have 400 guaranteed pips waiting for you. So you're not tripping too much, right? You've already probably taken partial profits on, as it's making new higher highs. So you're not mad at 402 pips. Okay, so now we're gonna go over a downtrend. Okay, that was an uptrend. Now we're gonna go over a downtrend. Okay, so just a quick recap of the uptrend. Right, on an uptrend, trail your stop loss at the newly formed higher lows, right? As we were doing, okay, and they're placed slightly below the higher low. Okay, so now we're gonna go over a downtrend. Let me just find a downtrend, a good downtrend for you guys. It's pretty good. Section. Okay, so now on a downtrend, I'm gonna type it up again. On a downtrend, trail your stop loss at the newly formed lower high. Okay, so not higher low this time, the lower high. Okay, downtrends and uptrends, pretty much the same thing. It's just flip. Okay, so you just gotta train your brain to just flip everything. Okay, so again, the little rectangle box is gonna be our entry. Okay, we get so we're waiting for the break and retest of the higher low. We get that right here. So boom, this is where we're gonna enter. Okay, so the rectangle box is our entry. Okay, so now we're working with the downtrend. So just like the uptrend, it's still placed slightly above this time, slightly above the lower high. Okay. So this is very small. I think you'll see it better on the hour time frame. Yeah, a little bit better. Okay, I personally like to track my trades on the H4. That's why you see me using that a lot. But as you see, right, we have a new lower low form. This was our previous lower low when we entered. Okay, so we entered up here. Make the box a little smaller. Okay, we entered on the retest of the break. Okay, this was a little head and shoulders pattern where we entered in at the retest of the neck level. Okay, so that explains why we entered right here. Okay, now you're in the trade, you're in profit, right? Your stop loss is already moved to break even, right? Already moved to entry. So now it's a risk-free trade. Now if it hits, right? Let's say we have our stop loss up here, right? We entered up here, we moved our stop loss after we got into a decent profit. And now you're confused on what to do. Okay. Perfect. Let me just delete this line. All right, perfect. So now you're in profit, right? Stop losses move to entry. It's a risk-free trade, but that's, we don't want to gain nothing, right? Yeah, you're not losing nothing, not gaining nothing, right? We want to gain, we want to pull something off the table, right? Taking profits, you can never go broke taking profit, right? You can never go broke trailing your stop loss, right? So new, the new lower high is formed, right? So the reason why we wouldn't, so let me, as you see right here, right? A new lower high is formed and you see the trade starting to go down. The reason why we wouldn't move our stop loss immediately, right? We're not moving our stop loss until a new lower low is created. So until this, right? This is our lower low at this point in time. So until this lower low is broken, we are not moving our stop loss yet. Okay, because you could see this action happen, right? If we were to move our stop loss, right, slightly above our, right, if we were here, if we was to move our stop loss slightly below our lower high, right, before our lower low is broken, boom, we would have got stopped out, and that would have gave us only, let me measure it. Right, we entered, would give us only 23 pips as the downtrend continues. Feel me? You don't want to. We didn't want to miss that. So again, I'm gonna type that up as well. Same thing for an uptrend as well. Okay. So on a downtrend, move to the lower high, placed slightly above lower high. Okay. Stop loss is not to be moved until a new lower low point is created. Okay, same thing with an uptrend. Stop loss is not to be moved until a new higher high point is created. Okay, so make sure you guys have that in your notes. You guys can screenshot, slow down the video, rewind, do what you need to do. Okay, so our stop loss is not moved until you see this action right here. Right here, the lower low has been broken and it's made a new lower low. Okay, new lower low has been formed, right? Our lower low has been broken. So now you can move your stop loss. Okay, if you do it too early, you might get stopped out for no reason. So wait till a new lower low is formed. Okay, so now that the lower low has been formed, I'm gonna rewind this. Okay, boom. So as soon as the lower low has been broken, boom. Now you can move your stop loss from break even to slightly above the previous lower high, which is right here. Okay, so you see I left a little space. You can even leave a little more. Okay, left a little gap. Okay, so it's not right on the higher low, it's just slightly above it. Okay. So as this downtrend continues, right, new lower lows form. Good. So now we're waiting for that pullback to create a new lower high. Okay, so we're waiting for this lower low point to be broken so that we can then move our stop loss to a new lower high. Okay, so just let the trade do its thing until this this lower low, my fault, until this lower low is broken. Boom. All right, lower low is broken. Okay, the lower low is now broken, as you can see clearly. Now you're valid to move your stop loss slightly above the lower high. Okay, which is right here. So now from our entry, we've secured 46 pips. Okay, now we're at 46 pips and running. So you have 46 guaranteed. Now it's guaranteed. If the trade comes back and does whatever it wants to do, it could do whatever it wants to do. If it hits our stop loss, we know we have 46 guaranteed pips waiting for us. So we're not too mad. You know what I'm saying? We're making money. Our account is growing. Okay. So now our stop losses moved. Okay. A lot of people might ask, how do you move your stop loss? You can contact anybody in the RH Made community with a green check and they can help you. Okay, they'll explain exactly how to move it on your MetaTrader 4. Okay, so as we continue, lower low being formed. Cool, now we're waiting for the pullback. Okay, so a new lower low. Let me explain this gap real quick. So this gap that you see right here, this is the close of, so this is Friday, 5 p.m. when the market closed. Okay, and this is Sunday, 5 p.m. when the market opened. Okay, so this gap that is just because news came out on the weekend, probably on a Saturday or early Sunday. Some news or whatever happened in the economy, right? This is AUDJPY. Whatever happened in the Asian economy brought this down. Okay, that's creating this big gap. So on the gap, most likely than not, 9 times out of 10, well, I've never seen it. I could say 10 times out of 10. I've never seen it not close. 10 times out of 10, this gap is going to close. So the trade will come back up to fill this gap. Okay, so the trade will come back up to cover this gap and then continue doing what it was doing. Okay, there is no timing on when this is going to close this gap. It's just going to do it when it does it. For me, it could be a couple hours. It could be instant. It could take a day or two. Okay, there's no time limit on it, but the gap will close. And once the gap closes, it's going to continue doing, right? It's going to continue doing whatever it was doing when it closed. So as we see, this was on a downtrend before the close. So we can see this coming back up and then continuing this downtrend. All right, so let's see what happens. Okay, a new lower low is formed. Cool. We still waiting for that gap to close though, but a new lower low is formed. Okay, so we can move our stop, okay, to our lower high, slightly above our lower high. Again, just be mindful. You have the gap that has not been closed yet. Okay, so this, you can expect this to come up and close this gap. Okay, but as lower lows are being formed, you're moving your stop loss. We're not leaving any pips on the table. We're not leaving any money on the table. Okay, boom. Not really a lower low. So I'm just waiting for this lower low to be broken so that I can then move my stop loss. Perfect. Boom. My lower low has been broken. So perfect. Now we're moving our stop loss to the new lower high. Slightly above. Boom. So now from our entry, we have secured, okay, we secured 161 pips and running. Okay. So as the trade continues, right, it's made a new lower low. Right, so now we're waiting for the pullback. Be mindful, we still have the gap. The gap still needs to be filled. Okay, so as you know, as the trade continues, oops, my fault, I was caught lacking, talking too much. But the trade made a new lower low. I'm gonna just rewind it. Okay, the trade made a new lower low as we was waiting for. So boom, you can then move it to the next higher low, which is right there. Again, slightly above. Okay, as the trade is continuing, again, don't forget about the gap. Okay, we'll be back. We'll come back to the gap as soon as that closes. So now we're waiting for this lower low to be broken so we can then move our stop loss. Okay, as you see, this is why we don't move it early. See, this low low is not broken. All right, now it's broken. All right, perfect. So now we can move our stop loss again to this lower high. Again, slightly above. So now we've secured a good deal amount of pips. So now we secured 217. Okay, so you have 217 guaranteed pips. No matter what happens to this trade. This could consolidate, this can flip trends, this can do whatever the hell it wants to do, but you have 217 guaranteed pips waiting. Okay, as soon as this hits or as soon as you pull out, you have 217 guaranteed. Okay, so now, right, new lower low is formed. It's just the same process. Okay, same process. Right, lower low formed, new lower low. So now we're just waiting, right? We're getting our pullback. Now we're just waiting for our lower low to be broken so we can then move our stop loss to the next higher low. Okay, as we see, our lower low point was never broken. All right, boom. You would have got stopped, right? You would have got stopped out right here, right? Your stop loss would have been hit right here. Okay, so you would have walked away with, from our entry, you would have walked away with 219 pips. Okay, that's calm 219 pips. Again, we didn't forget about the gap, right? I told you to remember the gap. Gap is going to be filled. Like I said, there was no time limit on it, right? That's why, if you're a gap trader, it's a little, it can make you money, it can make you breeze. Don't get me wrong. It's just it's hard to time it up of when exactly it's going to go back to the gap. So right now, right, our previous high low has been broken, right? So looking for a retest, right? We're looking for a retest, and then we could possibly get in for a buy as well, all the way, right it up to the gap. Okay, so our higher low has been broken. So once our higher low has been broken and retested, we can see the trends flipping. Okay, as you see, it's making higher highs and higher lows. Right to the gap. Still didn't fill it, right? Still didn't fill it. There's still an empty space in the middle right here. And now I filled most of it. Let me see. And then it's going to fill the whole thing. Not just some of it, not just most of it. It's going to fill the whole thing. Okay. So it's retesting this higher high point over here. Okay, boom. Retest failed. Continue down. Okay. So like I said before, when it goes back to the gap, it's going to continue what it was doing. Right. So before this gap was created, it was on a downtrend, right? It was on a downtrend. Like I said, when it comes back to the gap and it fills the gap, it's going to continue, where it left off. It's going to continue what it started, right? So the time limit, there's no time limit on when this will come back to the gap. As you've seen, this took, let me tell you exactly. So from when the gap was created, this took 12 days. Okay, that's a whole week and a half. So it took a week and a half to come back to fill this gap. Okay. So there's no time limit. It's back and fills the gap. It's going to continue what it was doing. So it was on a downtrend. So it's going to continue selling, right? Gap closed, continue selling. Okay. Even then it's not even fully closed. There's a little tiny piece that isn't closed. Let me see if I can mark that up. It's a tiny, tiny gap, right? But for the most part, right, as you see, it's a very tiny gap. So tiny that it really doesn't matter. It's 90% filled. It's 99% filled, right? Once it filled, if you guys want to go over more of gap, gap trading, anything like that, leave it down below, and maybe that can be my next live stream. We'll go over how the gap works and all that. Okay, but that's a downtrend, right? We got a nice sell off of the gap. I was gonna go back and fill that little 1% left. I'm just gonna speed this up. Boom. So came back, filled the gap, continue selling. Okay. So you look at the difference. All right. Again, this is Friday, 5 p.m. This is Sunday, 5 p.m. when the market closed up here, and then this is where the market opened. As you see, right, this time it went straight and filled the gap, right? We're in straight 68 pips, all right? The gap right away, okay? Like I told you, there's no time limit on gaps. It'll fill either within the hour, on the hour, couple hours, couple days, couple weeks. Okay, there's no telling when it's gonna fill. Okay, so since this trend is not about gaps, link down below if you guys want more on gaps, more information, how to trade them, anything like that, and that can be tomorrow's live stream. You can catch me on a live stream Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, usually at 10:30, the latest at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, all my social medias is linked down below as well as the other guys. So if you guys have any questions about the community, you guys can hit us up on Instagram and we can talk about it. Or you can download the app on Android or iOS. Link is down below as well. You can download the app and contact anybody with the green check. Anybody with the green check will be able to help you. All right. So until tomorrow, again, I'll be live at 10:30, the latest 11 a.m. Eastern. Stay humble, y'all. Stay blessed. We just end the live stream.